back, listeners, to another episode of The New Standard. And as always, the show is brought to you by Lance Williams and Neil Coulon. And we're bringing you the show on July 11th, 2021. I want to thank everybody for hopping on and joining the program. It's our pleasure to bring you this program. And before we hop into the program and break it down, I want to give a big shout out to Supreme Queen, her brand. Big up to Supreme Queen. Check her brand out on IG, my daughter's brand. Check her out. Also, want to give a big shout out to Great Dads versus Everybody. And before we jump into the main topic of the show, I wanted to jump into the main topic of the show if we get to it. And I'm going to wait till we get to it because I'm going to introduce it when Neil hops on the program, if he hops on the program. If he does not hop on the program, we're going to just keep it pretty short. And I'm just going to do the opening monologue. But I think the big news in Steeler Nation this week were some comments made by Mike Tannenbaum, former GM of the New York Jets. And let me read the comments that he made from last year. I think it was last August 2020. And he said the following, quote, "If I had to take Ben Roethlisberger at 38, who has played 2 games in 2 years, I'll take my chances with Burrow and Mayfield. And Pittsburgh may have the 4th best quarterback this year in the AFC North." So let me jump into this next set of comments that he made. And he made these recently as of last week, I believe, July 8th, I believe, was comments. And he made them on Get Up. Quote, "Ben Roethlisberger is going to be bad, and I expect him to be benched by the middle of the season. He's had a great career. It's over." Now, I think that shows make these type of comments for several reasons. One, it's to get clicks. It's to get attention. Because let's be honest, it's July. There's not much to talk about in regards to football. And I've been doing this for a long time. Neil and myself have been doing this for a very long time. We've been podcasting, doing shows, we've been colleagues, we've been doing stuff for a very, very, very long time. And it's difficult at times to create content in July. There's just not much going on in regards to football. At this time of the year, which is the business season, and big up to Dave U, holla at your boy, it's very difficult to strum up stuff that fans would be interested in. It's the challenge of where we're at now in a media platform or a media world where everything is 24/7. I'm 51 years old. I turned 51 this summer. There was a time when I was a kid when football actually was not talked about, that sports were only talked about in season. And because now you have to find some content, sometimes media outlets like ESPN and like certain individuals on ESPN, because it's not all individuals on ESPN, they strum up content. I think when you do like clickbait content math, controversial statement plus big fan base plus particular player equals views, clicks, likes. It drives attention and it drives content. When you make a statement, Ben Roethlisberger is going to be bad, and I expect him to be benched by the middle of the season. He's had a great career. It's over. You know exactly what you're doing. You're not hedging your bet. You're not being in the middle of it. You're taking a strong take on either end. You're saying he's going to be dead. You say his career is going to be over. He's going to be a bum. You can't say, I think he's just going to be okay. Because nobody wants to hear it's just going to be okay. So the take at an ESPN for Ben Roethlisberger has to typically be he's going to be great or he's going to suck. So that's why the statement is so leaning or so strong in one direction and not the other. And the reason why he's doing it is because it's July. Today is July 11th. As strong as the take was, I believe that probably everybody has already forgotten what the take was except for Steeler Nation. But for the 48 hours after the take, the amount of clicks and buzz and everything that he got, or ESPN got, was worth it because he's continued to do this about Ben Roethlisberger. So when I look at the statement and what he said, I don't really have a problem with it. It is what it is. I understand the context and the reason why he said it. Because when you take a step back, we're all speculating on what Ben Roethlisberger will be and what players will be and how they will perform in general. My only issue, if I have any issue at all, with Tannenbaum is, what is it based on? When you listen to the segment, he's just talking. He wasn't basing it on anything in particular. Does he actually really think that in Ben Roethlisberger's last season, his swan song, that he's going to get benched? Really? I mean, the only way I see Ben Roethlisberger not starting in every single game for the Steelers in his last year in his swan song would be if he got hurt. That's the only way. I mean, this is the last year for Ben Roethlisberger, and they're moving on and moving into a different direction. I mean, that's it. But taking these takes, as extreme as they were, and the way in which he did it, it's simply because he's trying to get clicks. He's trying to get attention. He's trying to get views. Do I think Ben Roethlisberger will be the Ben Roethlisberger of old? I don't. Why? He's old and the Steelers have a rebuilding offensive line. I think the Steelers are sexy tanking and they're clearly in a transition mode. Sexy tanking meaning they're rebuilding, but it's a sexy rebuild or a sexy tank because Ben Roethlisberger is the face of it. He's the wizard, and behind the curtain is the band, so to speak. So, comments like Mike Tannenbaum, I mean, they are what they are. I mean, they're pretty funny. In fact, I like comments like Mike Tannenbaum because what Mike Tannenbaum does for me, a smaller outlet, is he gives me 10 minutes of talking. So in some respects, Mike Tannenbaum is like the whale in the ocean and everybody feeds. I mean, he makes ridiculous comments and statements and everybody can feed off of that, get a little bit of content, do their thing, and it is what it is. So I appreciate the comments from Mike Tannenbaum. He makes those comments. It is what it is, and he does what he does. So, but I don't think, if he were to give more evidence or some more concrete information as to why he thinks Ben Roethlisberger is going to be benched by, mid-season, maybe I would give it more credence, but I realize what it is. I'm sure you guys realize what it is. And I think moving forward, what we have to do as fans who consume sports media and sports entertainment is we have to condition ourselves to what is clearly clickbait. Stuff that's clearly being thrown out there just to be thrown out there. That's it. That's all. We have to condition ourselves to it. And once we condition ourselves to it, you know what to listen to, you know what to ignore, and you move forward. So, Steeler Nation, I wouldn't put much credence into what Mike Tannenbaum said. I'm sure Steeler Nation didn't do it. Steeler Nation tends to be very sensitive in terms of critiques and analysis. And when guys are critical of their superstars, Steeler Nation responds in kind. Ben Roethlisberger is a Hall of Fame quarterback, will be a first ballot guy. He's had an outstanding career, and he's arguably the best quarterback in Steelers history. But with that, listeners, we're going to go ahead and conclude. I'm going to go ahead and cut the program short. And we'll get back to you next week. Thank you for tuning in. Tune in, tell a friend, and subscribe.